We all want to retire comfortably, but the uncomfortable truth is most of us haven't financially prepared for that. Jim Lineweaver is here to add up the ways we can make the money we worked so hard for us work for us. Jim is a certified financial professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome, welcome.
Thanks.
We're getting close to retirement. Time is no longer on our side. So how bad really is the situation?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, unfortunately, for most Americans, that is. Because according to the National Institute of Retirement Services, they said 45% of Americans have nothing saved for retirement. And then of those between 55 to 65, they've actually, on average, only saved about $12,000. Now, of those that are savers out there and close to retirement, they've only saved on average $100,000. Now, you'd think that might be a lot, but if you have to rely on that for the next 20 to 30 years, it's not a lot of money.
No, and people are living longer, so how much should we save for our retirement?
Well, everybody's situation is different, but what ends up happening is that depending on the Social Security that you may have coming in, any other pension income and things, you add all those up and then you may have a shortfall. So that shortfall needs to be made up of your investments or retirement accumulation, and based on about every $100,000 that you put away, use a 4% consumption rate. So that means if you had $100,000 saved, you could use about 4% or $4,000 per year, and if structured correctly, you shouldn't run out of money in retirement.
Okay, so how though, if we are facing not enough, how do we increase the nest egg?
Right. Well, what happens is you can try to obviously put away money, but it comes down to how much can you save and what type of a rate of return can you get on that money. So let's say you were looking out over a 20-year period of time and you wanted to get $100,000 set aside. For zero interest, obviously, you'd have to save $5,000 a year. But if you could earn about 3% on your money, all you'd have to do is put away $3,600 a year to come up with that same $100,000 in 20 years.
Okay, but you're talking 20 years. Some of us may not have that long. So what can we do today that will help for tomorrow?
Right. Well, what ends up happening is then you're looking at actually basically the rate of return. So we gave you an example of like $600,000. If people are trying to accumulate to that, depending on your age, if you're age 55, and let's say you can get 5% return on this money, you're going to have to save $3,800 a month to get to that. If you're age 45, you'd have to save about $1,455 a month, and if you're age 35, about $720 a month to come up with that same $600,000 in 20 years.
Okay.
So obviously time is a huge factor.
And that extra little bit of interest coming to help build up that $600,000.
It does help.
It's a lot of information, but you have a way for our viewers to help understand it a little bit better.
We do, because you don't get a second chance at retirement for most people, and you don't want to have to go back to work. So you got to get it right the first time. So we have some education programs coming up. The first one's going to be on Tuesday, October 13th at 1 p.m., and another one Thursday, October 15th at 6 p.m. in our Valley View office. And your viewers are free to attend, but I'd recommend calling as soon as they can.
And make that reservation. Learn more about this plan, right?
Exactly.
No matter how much time you have until your retirement, it's time for your money to get growing. To learn more, attend one of Jim's seminars or give him a call. The number's coming up next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, giving